2 weeks later, Chike arrived home for holidays smiling, something he had not done in months. Amara was surprised. "My brother is finally happy." Chike hugged her. The hug felt strange. Too long, too tight. But Amara ignored it. He began so supportive, helping with house chores when he is around, and assists at the noodles and bread joint. One evening he announced exciting news. "Sister, I got a job interview in the next town." Amara's face brightened. "Really? How about your school? How do you cope with school?" "The location is close to my school, so I can easily continue when school resumes," he assured her. "Is the salary good?" Amara asked, so excited. "Yes, they said I should come with a family member to stand as a guarantor." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "I can now assist you with the bills," he said encouraging words. She immediately thanked God. The next morning they traveled together. The vehicle left the main road and entered a lonely forest route. Amara looked confused. "Where are we going?" "The company site is ahead. It is a construction factory." Minutes later the driver stopped. No company, no buildings, only silence. Amara's heartbeat increased. Before she could speak, strange men emerged from the bushes. Her eyes widened. She turned to Chike. Fear flooded her face. "Chike?" The men grabbed her. She struggled. "Chike, help me." But Chike stood frozen. Amara's voice trembled. "Please, help me." Tears rolled down her cheeks. The truth suddenly hit her. The person who brought her here was the person who betrayed her. No. She looked directly into his eyes. The same eyes she had wiped when he cried as a child. The same eyes she had protected for years. "Chike," her voice broke. "Why?" Chike began crying. "You will eventually going to die from the sickness," he said. But he did nothing. Amara screamed, "I am your sister." The forest echoed her words. "I am your sister." Those became her final words. The men dragged her away. Her screams faded into the distance. Then silence. Absolute silence. The ritual was completed before sunset. That night, Chike received a huge bag of cash. Within months, his life changed dramatically. He bought cars, built a mansion, opened businesses. People admired him. Young women chased him. Everything was celebrated. Friends asked about his sister, but he covered it with lies upon lies. Nobody knew the truth. Or so he thought. Because the dead may be silent, but secrets never are. One of the ritual men was arrested months later for another crime. During interrogation he confessed everything. Every name, every victim, including Amara. The news exploded through the community like wildfire. The people in the community were horrified. The woman who sacrificed her life for her brother had been murdered by that same brother. Everyone wanted justice. The entire community gathered outside Chike's mansion. Anger burned in every eye. Women cried. Men clenched their fists. Old people shook their heads in disbelief. The community head ordered Chike's arrest. When police officers arrived, Chike tried to escape through the back gate. But thousands had already surrounded the compound. There was nowhere to run. The crowd dragged him to the town hall. His expensive clothes were torn. His luxury image vanished. He looked poor again. Terrified. Alone. Broken. People shouted. "Murderer. Monster. Animal." An elderly woman stepped forward. She had been Amara's closest friend. Through tears she asked, "When you were hungry, who fed you?" "Amara." "When you had no school fees, who paid?" "Amara." "When you were sick, who stayed awake all night?" "Amara." The woman burst into tears. "And that is the person you killed?" The crowd erupted in rage. The police struggled to control them. But years of love for Amara and anger over her death exploded at once. The mob descended on Chike. He screamed, begged, cried, but mercy was gone. The same greed that had destroyed his sister had now destroyed him. By the time police regained control, Chike lay motionless, dead. The community fell silent. A strange sadness filled the air. Not because Chike deserved pity, but because two lives had been lost. One to love, the other to greed. Days later, Amara's old house was opened. Inside, the people in the community found a small wooden box. A letter addressed to Chike, written before her death. The community head read it aloud before the entire village. My dear brother, if anything ever happens to me, never stop believing in yourself. You are stronger than you think. One day you will become successful through honesty and hard work. Everything I suffered was worth it because you are my family. You always. Your sister, Amara. The crowd wept. Even hardened men could not hold back tears. The letter became Amara's final gift. A gift Chike would never read, a gift from the sister he sold. A monument was later built in Amara's memory. On it were written these words: "The hand that feeds you should never become the hand you betray." And from that day, whenever young people in the community chased wealth at any cost, elders would point to Amara's monument and say, "Quick money may buy comfort, but it can never buy peace." Every evil reward eventually demands payment.